Good morning, students. I hope that you all are studying with the help of those videos what we all teachers are regularly sending to you. Today I'm here again with the same chapter what we have discussed in my previous video, History Chapter 2, Nationalism in India. Nationalism means here the story of national movement of India, the story of India's freedom fight against the Britishers. In my previous video, I began my chapter with a very important incident that was the arrival of Gandhiji in January 1915. Then we have covered Hind Swaraj, the very famous book written by him. We have discussed about the innovative ideas of Gandhiji, that was Satyagraha. Then we have covered the three consecutive Satyagraha, early Satyagraha movement launched by Gandhiji. Today again I am here with the very important incident what took place one by one and the story of national movement of India. In this, I want to let you some years back. In my previous video, we started our chapter from 1915. But today, I want to let you 1 year back. And this was the year of 1914 when the First World War began. First World War, which was fought at European front by some European powers, different European countries. They formed two different groups and struggled against each other. But the impact of that First World War was faced by us also, because Britain was one of the major power which was involved in the First World War, and they were our masters also. So it was obvious that the impact of the First World War felt by us also. So let's discuss about the impact of First World War. First impact of the World War on India was it result a huge increase in defense expenditure. Defense expenditure means lots of money was spent on defense. You all know that war itself bring lots of expenditures. War needs the supply of weapon, supply of eatables, clothes, shoes, and other essential things. So due to this, in India, what happens? It increased the defense expenditure a lot. Second impact which was felt, that was custom duties were increased. Means tax was increased on import, and for the very first time in India, income tax was introduced, because in the First World War, Britain treasury was highly drained. So it had to pace with the expenditure. क्योंकि ब्रिटेन का खजाना लगातार खाली होता जा रहा था. Now they had to found out some other ways to make a balance with their treasury. So what they did in India, they increased the custom duties and they introduced one another new type of the tax, which was income tax. So in India, by Britishers, firstly income tax was introduced. Then third, what happened due to this incident? Forced recruitment. Because in war was fought for the long years. So it also required the supply of soldiers. When the soldiers were lack at front, what happened? What way was innovated by the Britishers? They began the forced recruitment from the rural areas to supply the soldiers. The areas which were rural areas, village which were there, from that areas, some of the peoples were caught and forcibly they were sent in the war. Then the fourth impact was, what happened actually? It was the year of 1918 and 1919. Then 1920 to 1921. Continuously from 1918 to 1921, crop failed in the many parts of country. So because of this continuous crop fail, a situation of famine occurred in India. This was a very critical problem among the Indians. Then the fifth impact, what we will discuss, what happened in 1921 because of the crop fail, because of the um, lack of food grains, because of the some kind of communicable disease which is known as epidemic. 12 to 13 million people were died. And what was the reason of their die? Reason was due to famine, due to the lack of food, and due to the epidemic, due to the communicable disease which can be cause the death of the thousands and even millions of the people. So these all impacts were faced by India and by Indians due to the First World War, which was not even fought in our country. It was fought in Europe, but the impacts were faced by us also. And then what happened? In my previous video, I told you the most important incident of the national movement of India, that was the entry of Gandhiji, and this year was 1915 and the month was January.